Sachidanand Shukla, Chief Economist at Mahindra & Mahindra, your sense, there are economists who are now writing about the potential concern over stagflation, that we are heading into a period where we could be in a stagflation spiral. Is that a fear that you have?
So, Rajdeep, if you look at what's been happening globally, probably stagflation is a risk in Europe, in US probably. In India, I think with growth being at around 7% and the RBI having preemptively reacted to the inflation prints, and our numbers suggest that the April numbers might be anywhere close to say 7.5, 7.7%. I don't really think that stagflation is a risk for the Indian economy as we speak, but indeed it is a big risk elsewhere in the world, especially the developed economies. Now, the problem with this, Rajdeep, is that inflation is the emperor of all economic maladies. And given the kind of economy we are, a large informal sector, a large, say, bottom of the pyramid population, low income levels, for example, for a bulk of the population, inflation does hurt disproportionately, and it eats into the purchasing power, and therefore, I think it is imperative that the RBI actually look at the inflation prints and inflation really getting out of hand. I think that is a serious challenge. And I think another very important factor, Rajdeep, is that we don't live in an isolated sort of a world. We are interlinked with the rest of the world. And there has been a quit India movement by the FIIs. If you look at the last 3-4 months, FIIs have sold close to about $20 billion, and that's massive selling. Now, mind you, from September onwards, the US Fed is likely to also withdraw liquidity to the tune of $90 billion a month. And US dollars are going to be at a premium. And at this juncture, when your inflation prints start going up, and in interest rate differential actually narrows vis-a-vis US, we were at a serious risk of much stronger outflows from the Indian economy, and that brings us back to that same old spiral, as you know.
Right.
Indian economy looks very different with oil above $100 and risk off. So I think it was about time that the RBI recognized the fears and the worries of inflation getting out of hand and getting much more entrenched, and therefore they had to really react preemptively. I mean, some people would argue that they could have done it before.
You know, let me throw again what some experts are suggesting, Sunil Sinha. Some are saying scope for taming inflation, taxes on pump prices of petrol and diesel need to be lowered to ease price pressure. Agricultural policies need adjustments to ensure that food prices do not rise too high. We need a fiscal policy also to insulate the economy from a demand shock that is likely to take place at this critical juncture. Do you see potential areas where inflation could be tamed? The RBI has acted. What do you see the government doing?
Well, Rajdeep, it is easier said than done. I mean, of course, there are many issues which we are confronting with at the current juncture. As you rightly put it, I mean, the global commodity prices are on the higher side. Inflation is inching up. You know, the purchasing power is going down. You know, even agricultural commodity prices are on the rise. So food inflation is also staring at us. So all of these issues are definitely there. So it's a difficult situation. There are no easy answers. But yes, even within this kind of you know, atmosphere or environment, something can certainly be done. And one of the way to look at this whole issue is that if we look at the tax buoyancy over the last fiscal as well as even in the current fiscal, the tax collection have been fairly buoyant. So at least from a tax collection point of view, the government need not worry as much as it used to in earlier times, when typically the overall tax collection used to fall short of the budgeted estimate. And here we are in a situation where the chances are that the overall collection will be higher. So at least there is a room available for the government to look at the tax rates which are imposed on the oil, petrol and diesel, so that some kind of comfort or some kind of leeway is given to the economy in general and households in particular. So that certainly is something that government should and can look at.